Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. I hope all of you had a fantastic holiday season. Knew about this bill before the holiday rolled around, but I'm not a Grinch. Didn't want to do it to you, so we actually held off. We're going to talk about this bill today, which of course is House Bill 1132. This is a bill that's going to limit how many times you can go to church each month. This is a bill that's going to limit how many times you can speak freely each month. This is a bill that's actually going to regulate how many times you are actually free from unreasonable searches and seizures. This is a bill that's going to put a quota on how many times you actually have to incriminate yourself. And this is a bill that's also going to only protect you under the Eighth Amendment from cruel and unusual punishment on even numbered days of the month. That's right. Of course, the bill's not doing any of that because that would be not only ridiculous, but blatantly unconstitutional. But for some reason, when it comes to the Second Amendment, especially here in the People's Republic of Washington, well, they all just seem to think that quotas and limitations, well, they're just perfectly okay. So today, we got to talk about a new bill, Washington. So let's spend a few minutes, let's geek out, and let's talk about the bill that imposes a quota on your constitutional rights. Okay, hey, before we get going too far down the road we're going down, let's remember that this video is being brought to us by our good friends over at the Conservative Ladies of Washington with two big announcements. Number one, on December 27th at 6 p.m. at Triple Horn Brewing, the Julie Barrett will be there. We'll be having a little holiday festivus type thing, and we'll be geeking out on politics. And yes, yours truly will be there as well. So join us 6 p.m. on December 27th at Triple Horn Brewery right here in beautiful Woodinville, Washington. Secondly, for those of you who ever have gone on a cruise ship, you will know that almost immediately after you embark, there is a lifeboat drill. There's a lifeboat drill just so that, you can all survive in case insanity occurs. Well, in the state of Washington, we are at that time of our calendar right now where we need to be doing our lifeboat drill, and that lifeboat drill comes from the Conservative Ladies of Washington's Legislative Action Center. You want to stay up on the insanity, you want to know what's happening, when it's happening, and what you can do about it, well, then you need to sign up today for the Conservative Ladies of Washington's Legislative Action Center. All the information is right down there in the description box, and between that fantastic platform and Redfin, you should be able to figure out a way to navigate this coming 2025 legislative session. Okay, Washington, here we go. They tried it last year. It was called House Bill 2021. This bill has the same sponsors. It's relatively the same idea. This is House Bill 1132, sponsored by Representatives Farvar and Ormsby, who absolutely, positively hate your constitutional rights and attempted almost the same bill just last legislative session. This bill, if enacted into law, will limit how many firearms you can actually acquire in a 30-day period. That's right, it will put a quota on your constitutional right. It will also limit how many rounds of ammunition you can purchase in a single transaction. Now, if enacted into law, a violation of these newly enacted statutes into RCW 9.41 would constitute civil infraction. Okay, so like I said, what this bill is all about is placing quotas on your constitutional rights. Don't believe me? Here's the exact language from the bill. So if this bill becomes law, new sections into RCW 9.41 will be drafted, which would read as follows. A dealer may not deliver more than one firearm to a purchaser or transferee within any 30-day period. Now, I will point out that this exact law was passed a couple of years ago in California. Shocker, was challenged constitutionally and has been absolutely decimated even by the Ninth Circuit down there in California. So even though the state of Washington knows that this law is essentially dying in California due to its unconstitutionality, why let that stop you here? But there's more quotas they want to put on you if this bill becomes law. B, a dealer may not deliver more than 100 rounds of .50 caliber ammunition or more than 1,000 rounds of any other caliber of ammunition to a purchaser or transferee within any 30-day period. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. First of all, how is one gun store going to know that just last week you purchased an additional 1,000 rounds of the same caliber of ammunition? There's no way that FFLB is going to know that you were at FFLA a week earlier doing the same transaction, unless, of course, you required every Washington state resident to go through a background check and then use all of that data to create a database, a shareable database, so that you could track these transactions. Now, there would be exceptions to this statute, but almost all of the exceptions include the usual suspects, law enforcement, military, National Guard, and things such as that. Okay, now, in addition to those exceptions, there is one other exception, and I do appreciate, even though this is an absolutely steamy pile of crap of a bill, that the sponsors at least put this exception is, and it's for this. Your grandpa died, and he left you in the will his entire firearm collection, which is 50 firearms, okay? And some of them have some extreme monetary value, and all of them have extreme sentimental value. So you absolutely, positively want to take possession of all of them. But is that going to take you multiple years because you can only take possession of one of them every 30 days? Last year's House Bill 2021 actually would have required that, okay? There is an exception in here that if we're talking about the inheritance of a state, and it may involve many, many firearms, it could involve thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition that comes with it as well. That would be exempt from this statute. But Washington, let me ask you this. If someone proposed a bill that said you can go to church on Sundays, but you only got to pick 2 of the 4 each month, and that's it. Or there was a bill out there that said that, you can speak freely, you can express yourself however you want, but only on even numbered days. Or take it outside the First Amendment and take it to some of our other constitutional protections, like the right to be free from unreasonable and unwarranted governmental searches and seizures. But that only applies on what, weekdays? Or as you know, you absolutely positively have a Sixth Amendment right to be represented by counsel if you are accused of a crime. But what if someone proposed a bill that said, well, that's fine, but only during the summer months? And the list of absurd results that you could get if you allow quotas to be placed on the exercise of our constitutional rights are limited only by your imagination. Listen, this is the second run at this bill. So as we know, every time a bill comes back, it seems to pick up a little bit more steam. The bill here is House Bill 1132. It is sponsored again by Representatives Farvar and Ormsby. I'm sure you could reach out to them and express some of your displeasure. I'm sure they would be very interested in caring about what you have to say. If you got any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights in Washington State, which right now is not much, you should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information's down there in the description box. Maybe you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here. Cool. Tell us all about it. Click on that link right there and let us know. If you want to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, the ability to do all of that is right down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.